Must-watch clash, Emma Raducanu set to battle Jessica Pegula in thrilling third round of Beijing China Open. There are certain tennis matches that feel like more than just a meeting of two athletes on opposite sides of a net. They carry weight, narrative, and electricity that transcend sport. The third-round clash between Emma Raducanu and Jessica Pegula at the Beijing China Open is precisely one of those matches. On paper, it is simply another fixture in a stacked WTA tournament. But in spirit, it represents two contrasting journeys colliding on the same stage. Raducanu, the prodigy still sculpting her place in the sport after the fairy-tale US Open triumph, and Pegula, the steady warrior who embodies persistence, maturity, and a relentless climb to the top tier of tennis. This story explores not just the match itself, but the layers of drama surrounding it, the context, the players' histories, the symbolism, and the sheer anticipation of what this clash means for tennis in 2025 and beyond. The rising star. Emma Raducanu's name became a global phenomenon in 2021 when, as an 18-year-old qualifier, she captured the US Open title without dropping a set. That victory was a sporting miracle, the kind of triumph that etches itself in history and forever alters the trajectory of a career. Yet, in the years that followed, her journey has not been a linear march toward dominance. Instead, it has been defined by injuries, coaching changes, and the immense burden of expectation. But in 2025, Raducanu is in a different place. Stronger, wiser, and hungrier, she has battled through setbacks to rediscover her spark. In Beijing, she has played with a sharpness reminiscent of her breakout days, fluid groundstrokes, an instinctive return game, and the ability to summon brilliance under pressure. Her wins in the opening rounds were not just victories on a scoresheet, they were statements of intent. When she walks onto the court to face Jessica Pegula, Raducanu is not just chasing another win. She is chasing validation, momentum, and the reassurance that she belongs among the elite once again. The steady force. If Raducanu's rise was meteoric, Jessica Pegula's ascent has been the very opposite, slow, steady, and methodical. The daughter of sports franchise owners, Pegula faced the dismissive whispers of privilege early in her career. But instead of being defined by her background, she carved out her own identity through grit and work ethic. 4 years, Pegula toiled away outside the limelight, battling injuries and early exits. But her persistence paid off. By her late 20s, she had cracked the top 10 and stayed there, becoming a model of consistency on the WTA tour. Her game is not flashy, but it is remarkably effective, solid from the baseline, tactically astute, and mentally resilient. Now, in Beijing, Pegula arrives not just as a contender but as a seasoned veteran with the respect of peers and fans alike. She knows how to handle the big moments. She has faced the biggest names and learned how to weather storms. Against Raducanu, Pegula represents the established order, the reminder that talent alone is not enough, you must endure, adapt, and persist. A tournament steeped in prestige. The Beijing China Open is not just another stop on the WTA calendar. It is one of the most prestigious events outside the Grand Slams, attracting the very best players in the world. The atmosphere is a unique blend of East meets West, where global stars are celebrated against the backdrop of China's rich sporting culture. This year, the tournament feels particularly significant. With the sport in transition, icons like Serena Williams retired, and the torch being passed to the likes of Iga Swiatek, Coco Gauff, Aryna Sabalenka, and Naomi Osaka's renewed comeback, the China Open is a showcase of what the future of tennis looks like. Raducanu versus Pegula, then, is not just a third-round clash, it is a microcosm of the sport's evolving narrative. Clash of styles. On the surface, this matchup is fascinating because of the players' contrasting styles. Raducanu thrives on explosive shot-making. She loves taking the ball early, redirecting pace, and disrupting opponents with her aggressive returns. When her timing clicks, she can hit winners from anywhere on the court. Her tennis is instinctive, bold, and brimming with youthful audacity. Pegula, by contrast, is the embodiment of reliability. Her strokes are not spectacular but supremely effective. She moves opponents around with patience, absorbs pace with precision, and strikes when the opportunity presents itself. Her greatest weapon is not a single shot but her mental calmness and tactical acumen. When these two styles collide, the match becomes a chess game disguised as a duel of rackets. Raducanu's fire versus Pegula's ice. Youthful brilliance versus seasoned consistency. The irresistible force against the immovable object. The mental battle. Tennis is as much mental as it is physical, and this match is no exception. Raducanu enters the court with the weight of expectation and the pressure to prove that her resurgence is real. She knows that every performance is scrutinized, every result a referendum on her career trajectory. Pegula, on the other hand, plays with freedom. She has nothing to prove, her record already speaks for itself. But she thrives on reminding younger opponents that consistency beats flash when the pressure mounts. Her calmness is her weapon, a counter to Raducanu's storm. The psychological dynamics here are riveting. Can Raducanu sustain her confidence against Pegula's steadiness? Or will Pegula's unflappable nature frustrate Raducanu into errors? What's at stake? Beyond the obvious prize of advancing to the quarterfinals, this match carries larger implications. For Raducanu, a win would signify that she can defeat top-tier players again, bolstering her confidence heading into the final stretch of the season. It would silence critics who still dismiss her as a one-hit wonder. Most importantly, it would remind the tennis world of the talent that once stunned New York. For Pegula, a win would reinforce her status as one of the tour's most reliable forces. It would show that experience still trumps youthful audacity, and it would strengthen her campaign for year-end finals qualification. For a player who has built her reputation on steadiness, every victory is another layer of validation. The anticipation. Beijing's National Tennis Center will be buzzing when these two step onto the court. Fans will come not just to witness tennis, but to experience drama, passion, and the unpredictable beauty of sport. Chinese fans, who embrace both young stars and seasoned veterans, will likely be split in their support, creating an electric atmosphere where every point draws roars and gasps. Commentators and analysts have already billed this as one of the must-watch clashes of the tournament. Not because it is a final, but because it captures so much of what makes tennis compelling: storylines, contrasts, and the tantalizing uncertainty of who will rise when it matters most. Imagining the match. Picture the opening set. Raducanu comes out firing, ripping returns, and dictating rallies with fearless aggression. Pegula absorbs the blows, staying steady, waiting for the errors to creep in. The set goes to a tiebreak, where Raducanu's brilliance flashes, but Pegula's experience edges her through. In the second set, Raducanu recalibrates. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share. Till next time.